Howdy, howdy. It's Craig Daugherty from Charlotte, North Carolina, better known as Vegas Dog 222, coming to you live from right here in Las Vegas today. Welcome to the Living in Las Vegas podcast on the Vegas Video Network. This is the longest running podcast about Las Vegas, originating right here in Las Vegas. So, pour yourself a Belvedere on the rocks, or whatever adult beverage is your choice. Pull your pants up, buckle up, get ready for the ride. I know this show is going to be awesome. Kick it, Brother Scott.
Yeah.
Vegas Dog out. Peace.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, on today's Living in Las Vegas. Okay, this is going to be fascinating. There's a number of people who come to Las Vegas to gamble who are using money that they received through ill-gotten gains. Now you may be saying to yourself, who cares about that? Well, the casinos care about that to the tune of millions and millions of dollars. So on today's show, we're going to be telling you about stories of fraudulent gambling here in Las Vegas. What did these people do and how did they get caught? Plus, we've got real quick stories, live chat questions, listener email, and of course, have a drink on me. This is the Living in Las Vegas podcast. You hear that, you ill-gotten gain bastards? We're coming to get ya. Let's get started.
Living in Las Vegas starts now. We are like the G-Men. We know where you live.
I do, literally.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada. That groovy little podcast that gives you a true first-person look into what it's like to call Sin City your home. The Living in Las Vegas podcast. That's it, baby. Look at that. And now your host, yes, a man who clearly needs some kind of introduction, otherwise you wouldn't know who he was. Sing it, Brother Scotty. Mr. Scott Whitney. Look at me, it's me, I'm flying. Hey, welcome everybody to the Living in Las Vegas podcast here on the Vegas Video Network. Thank you very much. And by the way, if you'll allow me to congratulate you, because you are watching or listening to the longest running podcast about Las Vegas that actually originates from
South of Reno.
See, last week you bitched because I didn't let you get into the opening, and so I'm like, you know what, I got to let Wayne get in here because he was a little sad, and I worry about Wayne's little heart, and of course you fucked it up. All right, so what this means, we're actually here in Vegas, longest running podcast about Vegas that comes from Vegas. That was what I was trying to say. Hey, which means, well, we're not only going to cover what it's like to live here, but we're going to tell you about our adventures on the Strip, Fremont Street, downtown, other cool places here in the Valley. And by the way, if you're a fan, if you're a visitor, if you are a tourist and you dig this city, well, guess what? Our show is like your own secret handshake to all things cool and groovy. Hey, we're live every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time at VegasVideoNetwork.com/live. Again, VegasVideoNetwork.com/live. Hey, be a part of the fun and get yourself in the show. Join the live chat. We've got some of the grooviest people you'll ever. I see Teddy and Barb and Binkie, and I see Chad and Mike's. Lots of Mike's and some Danny's and DJ's and Glenn's and Greg's and Jim's and more Mike's and Pops and Steve. Holy crap-a-mola. There's a whole kinds of good people here. And guess what? Some of these folks are here an hour before. Why? Kumbaya, my brother. They love each other. They support each other. Some of these people have had sex with each other.
Oh, is that the disclaimer about putting your pants back on? Is that why we had to have that?
I do know that there are people in the live chat who have had sex with each other. I'm not saying who they are. I'm just saying I know it's true. Hey, I'm your host, Scott Whitney. Konnichiwa, buenas noches, how you doing, hot stuff? I am the founder here of this Vegas Video Network. Been an online broadcaster for 10 years professionally, which means that if you like this network, well, it's me. And if you don't like it, well, it's him. Ladies and gentlemen, coming back again, we love him. It's Pimpin' Wayne, everybody.
Thank you. You would think that applause is canned. It's not.
It's not. No, we've got.
We have it piped in from all the people with microphones that leave voicemails.
It's part of the live chat, actually. We have microphones attached to all these people. They don't know that. That's part of the mystery we'll be talking about a little bit later.
That's how you know they've had
show.
sex.
That's right. Probably didn't need to tell them that part. But all these guys are watching us on laptops. And while the little light doesn't come on, our light comes on. Because we're watching. Hey, he's pretty good. Ooh, she didn't want it in there. That's
Hey-o.
what we do. That's part of our post show, which we're going to start charging for.
Vivian
forward.
After Dark.
Absolutely.
I've been pushing that idea for years with you.
I know you have. And finally, we have a way to make some money. Over and under, my friend.
I said it before. I'm going to stick with it. You know, why change a winning horse in midstream? 87 minutes.
87 minutes, okay. By the way, new in the live chat, we've got Joe in Ma, which is probably Massachusetts. As a matter of fact, it is Massachusetts. He's from Boston, has been watching us since about March, did a Google search for Las Vegas podcast. So, Joe, welcome to the live chat. And please don't try to put your finger over the camera like you just did. We can still see right through your finger. It's kind of a godlike gift of ours. We don't like to brag about it. It's just a fact. Also want to thank Craig Daugherty, Vegas Dog 222, for our opening video. He actually did much of our opening lines, but I decided to do it again just because I like to hear him and me do the exact same thing.
No one is Scott Whitney's biggest fan more than Scott Whitney.
Nobody. I really don't have that many fans, so I'll take what I can get. I get a lot of people going, hey, don't you owe me money? And a lot of people call me Chris. I get that a lot. Hey, Chris. Scott? You mean Scott? Chris? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's great.
I could see you're an older Chris Phillips.
Really?
Well,
Not that much older. Okay.
Hey-o.
Hey, boom. Okay. Stories of fraudulent gambling and gamblers here in Las Vegas. So what this means, again, is ill-gotten gains. People who have money through some sort of evil way, and they've gone and said, we're going to take that money and gamble it away. Now, you may ask yourself, who the hell cares? What does the casino care? They just want the money. That's how they're, this is pretty easy. Do they make money? Do they know? I don't care how you get me the money. I just want your money. That's what you would think. Yet that's not right. Tell us a little story about why casinos care about where the money comes from.
Yeah, the olden days of don't ask, don't tell as it relates to waste your funds in Las Vegas. Those days are long gone. But, what we've really found in the industry is that, like anybody else, Vegas is America's playground. People come here not to steal necessarily or swindle, fraud, embezzle, whatever it might be. They come here to enjoy their money,
right,
like everyone else. They hate paying resort fees. They hate paying MGM for parking.
Right.
They're just doing it usually with someone else's money.
Hold on. This show brought to you by Caesars. Continue.
So you mentioned why would casinos care? It's a cash intensive business.
Yep.
Why don't they just want to get them in there and bleed them dry and send them on their way?
Yep.
And we've talked in the past about different laws that exist and things they have to do. But literally, it was specifically pointed out to casinos. This was about 2 years ago, that they're required to care and they're expected to care by Big Brother.
I like that. You're required to care, whether you want to or not. You're gonna care,
right? So 2 years ago, a director in the Treasury Department came out to Las Vegas, and she was very pointed and candid with the casinos. This is a quote here that she said to all these casino executives that are in the room.
And what was this, a conference? Or?
This was a conference, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So she flew in, there were some prepared remarks. But she literally says, and this is a quote here, "You pride yourself in knowing what kind of wine a high roller drinks or his or her favorite music. Your intelligence operations and the knowledge of your hosts when it comes to pleasing your guests is second to none. A casino's capability for knowing its customers' preferences and credit information, combined with your security technology, can and should be leveraged to piece together relevant information to understand your customer's source of funds."
Uh-oh. So, in other words, we care.
We care, and a little bit of we know you know, so we expect you to keep knowing.
So now, before we start going into the stories, there's more than just somebody slapping your hand and from the Fed and saying, "We know you know, and you should do it." There's even a larger motivator to that, and that's just money.
There are
some casinos,
money, but also
popped.
power. There are casinos that have gotten popped, and everything. I've got a couple different examples here, and the one I'm going to start with really sets the tone and answers that question. It has to do with, and I will name this one because it was big front page news. The Sparks Nugget up in beautiful Sparks, where you used to live, right up there. I think it was just up the street from you, like 2-3 blocks.
Yeah.
So anyways, the Sparks Nugget, the reason why that's important is because they were not, while they might have known their customers' wine and music preference or whatever else I just quoted, they chose to go down the other path, the path of old school gambling.
Don't look, don't tell.
Don't look, don't tell. And so what actually happened was they had a water engineer. What do you think? If I just said to you, Scott, hi, I'm Wayne, if I met you for the first time.
Hey, Wayne. Get out of my house. What are you doing in here?
Well,
and please put your pants on.
I'm turning your water on or off, depending on your bill. Your bill is a little late this month.
Thank you.
So I'm a water engineer. What would you say a water engineer probably, if you just had to take a ballpark guess, makes in a year?
I'm going to say between 35 and 60.
Okay. I don't know if you're right. I don't know if you're wrong, but I would tend to agree with you on that ballpark estimate.
Yep.
So when a water engineer comes into the Sparks Nugget and loses $1 million in less than 12 months,
shit.
You got to think to yourself, wow, that's a fantastic bonus program.
I'm in the wrong business.
Right?
I got to get a wrench.
So they had a water engineer lose $1 million at the Sparks Nugget. Turns out he was embezzling $2.2 million through some fake companies where he sold some water rights he didn't really have, authority to do.
Right.
So here comes the ultimate problem. Obviously, he gets arrested. They find it out. He goes to jail. So this happened in 2008. Okay. And you're going to say, Wayne, that's a long time ago. Why is this relevant to what we're talking about?
It's a good question. Thanks for asking that, Wayne.
So I'm going to answer my own question.
Attaboy. Because
at the time, this casino was ran by a woman named Michonne Osawagwa. Asagura. Why is that important, you say?
Why is that
important? Is because a couple years later, after 2008, guess what she got appointed to by the governor?
Oh, I can't wait.
The
Waterworks.
State Gaming Control Board.
Oh, wow.
The State Gaming Regulatory Authority.
Perfect. For Nevada.
For Nevada.
Well, of course.
Hence the word state.
We're good. Well, it could have been, California.
Oh, okay. So
hence the word California, bitch.
So she got appointed by the governor to the gaming committee. Then it comes out, oops, Sparks Nugget kind of looked the other way on some things, didn't file some forms. There's just some paperwork. They get fined $1 million.
Boop.
And she has to resign her seat on the gaming commission.
Well, okay.
After just a brief time in office. So that's why it matters. Now, because you've got the casino gets fined $1 million, and now she gets publicly shamed and has to resign her politically appointed cush job.
Okay, before we go into your stories of actual things that you've been a part of and you've investigated, there was a property on the Strip who also got pinged for. You don't have to give a name if it's not public or you don't want to.
No, it is. The Venetian got pounded.
Yeah, for how much?
21 million.
Yeah. So get this, everybody. Venetian had a customer who gambled money, and the money he received was ill-gotten, and we don't need to talk about that. Or do you want to talk about that or not?
He was in the pharmaceutical business, so he was a Asian guy living in Mexico in the pharmaceutical business, and that didn't. Everyone just thought, oh, okay.
That seems completely legitimate. So they did this. Now, can you rewind in how it unraveled and became a $21 million problem for...
Absolutely. So he eventually, he's trafficking drugs across the Mexican-United States border. Eventually, I don't know how this wasn't a foolproof plan, but he gets popped for the drug trafficking.
Whoops.
Yeah. Mexican authorities go to his house, and they find money. They find $100 bills that are palletized and shrink-wrapped in his compound.
Yeah.
because you know you gotta.
Like El Guapo.
Yeah, you gotta. El Chapo there.
Yeah.
So he gets arrested. They extradite him to the United States, and they say, "Where's the rest of the money?" Because obviously they're going to seize it, and
right. They want it
exactly, asset forfeiture. And so they say, they estimate this is how much money he had at his house. How much was the operation worth? They do the investigation. So when they follow the money and they try to find out where all the money went, he literally just points to the Venetian because he had lost 21 million in 1 year at the Venetian.
Can you imagine that? So the Venetians are like, God bless these whales,
right?
As opposed to saying, how can somebody lose $21 million and not want to jump off the tower?
Now, here was the Venetian's problem. The Venetian tried to claim, like, oh, we didn't know. This is just your average Mexican citizen of Asian descent that does pharmaceuticals. What were we to suspect? Here was the problem. The problem was they found the Venetian to be complicit. Because...
Let it go, Mr. Adelson. He seems good enough.
Right. They found the Venetian to be complicit because he was wiring money in to play with.
Right.
And he told the Venetian, you know what? I don't like the federal government to know about my transactions. So the Venetian allowed him to wire money into a airplane account to which they paid the pilots out of, Sheldon's personal pilots. So the money went to that account, and then through internal accounting, ended up at the casino cage for him to pick up.
So that's $20 million, and that probably put a chill around all other casinos in Nevada for sure, in the world, I'm guessing. Yes?
For the most part. I mean, Macau, we could have a whole nother story on Macau sometime where it's toned down a little bit with the Chinese corruption enforcement. But, casinos worldwide except for Macau, who's just in this little spot. Yeah, absolutely. And then especially when you've got a top treasury official coming out and saying, you know what wine they like, you damn better know where their money comes from.
Right. Okay. So now we've set the stage. This is why they care. Millions in dollars have been fined against the casinos because they weren't paying attention.
Yep.
Or they were complicit. So Wayne is in a business where he helps find bad guys.
Yep.
We won't talk about, where, what casino it is or that kind of stuff. But he has been kind enough to bring us 3 stories of real world examples of people who've come in with money that's been, corrupted, ill-gotten gain money, and what they did, and then how they got caught. So let's go with story number 1.
And let me preface this. All this has just happened in 2016.
This is all this year.
This is all this year.
I didn't know that.
This year. I didn't even have to dig in the archives. This is just this year. She resigned this year. And so number one just happened in January. This is a guy named George.
Okay.
Now, George also, George is a character. George also went by the name Mr. Smooth. Mr. Smooth.
I know a guy like that. He owes me $7,500, that piece of shit.
So this one is just so outlandish. This is why I started with it. Because this one, you just have to think to yourself, I can't believe people fall for this. So a guy calls himself Mr. Smooth. He proceeds to persuade 2 people to give him over $350,000 of their own personal money.
Right.
Why? Because he knows how to beat the casino.
Of course he does.
Right?
Who doesn't?
Because if he did, he would need someone else's money to live off of.
Right. Oops. That's the flaw with the first critical flaw with that.
He said he was producing a documentary about his system. He name-dropped George Clooney and Matt Damon as clients.
Oh.
He even told people he worked for the CIA.
Oh.
And that, most importantly, he always walked out of casinos with a profit.
Is that right?
So he persuades...
The CIA stands for cheating ignorant asses, by the way.
Oh.
I'm guessing.
Didn't know that.
Who knew?
I'd have to Wikipedia it.
Yeah, fine.
He promised his system was worth $3.9 billion with a B. He had a $400 million reality TV show in the pipeline.
Nice.
He actually told people that he had a reality program called, are you ready for this?
Ready.
Living Large in Las Vegas.
Son of a bitch.
Right?
That was my original thing, and somebody came at me and said I couldn't use it. I bet it's fucking George.
Seriously?
Mr. Smooth. No.
Oh, okay. Because that would have been a small world if it was.
No. Nobody takes
So
my
he
shit.
gets. Let's not forget he was arrested in 2006 for business fraud for having a briefcase full of stolen credit cards.
Oops.
Yeah,
That's almost never okay.
But I guess while he was in jail, he figured out how to beat the casinos. You know,
Good for him.
make a little toilet wine, do a little mail we won't go
Bonding.
there. Yeah, exactly. So
That's the wrong hole.
He got two people with money. They signed a contract. The contract stated in bold letters that regardless of the outcome, the investor was guaranteed to get their money back.
Oh, that's good.
It is, except for he gambled their money away.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So he shows up at one of your properties.
He should. Yeah, well, around town. Yep.
Okay. And so how was he discovered? I mean, help me understand. What I'm trying to figure out, besides their background, is how did they get on the radar of the casino? How does the casino go, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right? What
So
was
in
the
this
behavior
case-
that caused that kind of
In this
discovery?
case, those two investors, armed with their contracts where they were guaranteed to get their money back,
Right.
They went to the FBI and complained about this guy. The FBI looked into it and said, sure enough. And so what frequently happens all around town is that the IRS, the FBI, Homeland Security, the Justice Department, all of these departments have these broad sweeping powers to issue subpoenas. And so a lot of times they will just cast the net. They'll issue, they've got one of those label makers.
Yeah.
You print you put your HP sticker sheets in
Right,
there,
yeah.
set your Excel columns up
Yeah,
just
yeah,
right,
yeah.
and get your
Excel-
Avery.
You've already proved that you've never done this because no one uses Excel to do that. But God bless your little heart.
Put your
Word.
Avery
You use a
A4s
word.
in there.
That's right.
So literally, they will just blast all the casinos when they're looking for information on someone and request all their gaming records.
So George Smith, also AKA Mr.
Smooth, yep.
You have a guy who's gambled under that name.
Exactly.
Okay.
They'll give you a name and a birth date, and then they get all the records from all the different casinos. And then at that point, that's supposed to be kind of an indicator, if you will. If you get a FBI subpoena looking for, do you have any play on Mr. Smooth? Maybe you should take a little look at Mr. Smooth.
Right.
So that's what happened. This guy actually, he was having dinner at Mr. Lucky's at the Hard Rock.
Okay.
When they went to arrest him.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's where any of the fraud occurred. He just happened to be there at Mr. Lucky's.
Right.
They were following him. He literally, when they approached the table, he jumped the booth, jumped out in the casino, and started running. They tackled him. Then he feigned a heart attack and said he needed an ambulance.
Mr. Smooth Criminal.
Exactly. Because this guy previously also had a conviction for escaping jail. He said he had to go use the bathroom and went down a storm drain and busted out of jail.
Nice.
So, I mean, this guy was really something else. So they send out the subpoenas. Then they follow back up. They also have really good relationships with the surveillance departments.
So if they send
And find out where he's at.
So if
and
they
grab
send
him.
out a subpoena and and somebody at a property goes, yes, we have him. We've had him here. Mm-hmm. And for that to happen, you have to somehow know his name.
Right.
But so I'm not a big fan of giving casinos my name for a variety of reasons. But one of them is I don't want them to know who the fuck I am. So if I go in and gamble, if I gamble at $10,000, let's say, do you don't have to know who I am, do you?
You don't, but usually they'll try, and they'll try real hard.
What if I tell you, I'm just not interested. I just want to gamble and play and just back off. Give me my free drinks and here's $10,000. Let's go.
Yep.
Red.
Well, you can do red once at $10,000. But if you come to a casino with more than $10,000, they're required to ID you, and they're required to turn your business away if you refuse to give ID.
So that's part of it as well. Then,
Yep.
So that's what people have to understand. Now, most of us don't understand, but if you're going to bet more than $10,000, you find out who they are.
You have
now,
to.
whether it's a fake ID or not,
Up for debate.
right?
Sure.
But
Who knows?
they have to tell you something.
Yep.
I'm George. My friends call me Mr. Smooth.
Smooth.
Oh hell, I'll write
Wait.
that down. Can I get you a drink? A bourbon and Coke?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they did that. They did the net. Somebody said, yeah, we've got Mr. Smooth here. Here's what he's done.
Yep.
Here's what he's gambled, I guess. Here's his coin in or whatever you guys call that shit. But how did that help the FBI or whoever? It just told him that he was there?
Just to locate them. So they had the testimony from the two guys he scammed out of their investment for his documentary and his $3.9 billion crap system.
Yeah.
So they were, plus he already had prior convictions. So the FBI was looking to arrest him just on the fraudulent contracts alone and taking their money.
So basically all that was a location play.
Exactly.
He's in Vegas.
Yep.
Now we got to sniff around and find the guy.
Yep.
All right, next story.
Next story. So this is where now it gets a little bit more sad, but we're not quite at the heartstrings tugging portion yet of our presentation. So I don't know if you know where this is, but it's in California, and you're a California guy. Have you heard of the city of Placentia?
I have. Southern California.
So has another casino or casinos in Las Vegas.
Right.
Because what happened was the financial services manager for the city of Placentia bled the city of Placentia dry of over $5 million from embezzlement. Wow. So he was wiring money to another person that was in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if they were sharing in it. I don't know if this was his drug dealer.
Had to be or something.
Somehow they knew each other. You just don't embezzle $5 million and just send it to a stranger.
Right.
If you do, I'd like to be that stranger.
Right. Here's a pizza.
Yeah. So he was wiring money. He was wiring hundreds of thousands at a time to various casinos around town that this person would then pick up and play with.
Oh.
And what happened is one of the casinos in town asked him why he was getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from the city of Placentia. That's a little bit unusual.
Fair question, by the way. So in other words, they weren't asking the manager from Placentia because he wasn't the one who's being exposed. They were asking the friend who was gambling the money.
Right.
So Bill,
because he was there, he was under their roof.
We'll call him Bill. Mm-hmm. So Bill goes in. He walks into Casino B.
Yep.
And he goes, "I understand you have several $1,000s under my name." Oh,
yep.
Yes, we do, Mr. B. Are you a friend of Mr. Smooth, by the way? No.
Okay, good.
Fair enough.
Check.
In you go.
Yep.
Okay, so is that basically what was going on?
It was. And then now as this continued to happen 2, 3, 4 times, that's when the casino now starts to question why all this money from the city of Placentia.
So, in other words, there was something that alerted the casino.
They got alerted on, I believe it was the 3rd time he had wired in money from the city.
And how much was wired in at a time?
Each time was... Scanning. It was 100. It was at least 100,000 each time. Okay. I'm sorry. 2 wire transfers. One was for 300,000.
Holy shit!
That's when they gave him the money.
To a single casino or to a bunch of casinos?
To a single casino.
Holy shit!
The second time on the $1.5 million wire.
That'll do.
That's when they said, we're going to need to make some phone calls.
Okay, so 300,000 comes in, and you're like, well, that's okay. 1 point whatever comes in, and then the casino goes, hold on.
Yep.
I got a question.
Yes.
We got to know stuff.
Yes.
Now, would the casino first speak to Bob, who's coming in and betting, or would they just do their own kind of thing?
No, they're going to speak to Bob first.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's really, they want to be satisfied. Really what they're trying to do, the goal is not to kick people out. The goal is to keep people in. Mm-hmm. So they're going to try to do as much as they can to legitimize this.
Yeah.
If they could at least have gotten a half-assed excuse out of Bob. I think it was Bill, but that's what you said a second ago.
I can go for Bill.
Yeah. If they could have at least gotten a half-assed excuse, they would have continued, my estimation, they would have continued to play him, allowed him to play. And then if things went south, they would have said, listen, this is when we talked to him. This is what he told us.
Right.
And try to put the onus and the blame on him.
What did Bill say when he was asked, hey, where did you get that $1.X million from Placentia?
Bill's a movie producer.
Well, of course he is.
And
fuck, everybody's a movie producer.
He's producing a documentary for the city.
Ah,
yeah.
And that's where the money came from.
It is.
So Placentia is paying for the movie.
Yep.
A documentary.
Yep.
About gambling.
How great the trees probably are. I don't know.
Ah, and we thought the best way to finance that movie was to send it to a casino?
Yeah.
How the hell does that work?
Well, that's why they got a little suspicious.
Bill is mildly, what's the word now? Dumb. Mm-hmm. All right. So once the casino goes, yeah, that doesn't smell right. Then what happens?
So they contact law enforcement. In this case, I think it was the IRS. Believe it or not, a lot of people think of IRS as they'll come out with a pencil and a calculator and audit your taxes.
Yep.
Very few people know IRS also has a group that have badges and guns and handcuffs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
And so the IRS badges and handcuffs
Badges and
guns division,
Right.
they called them, and they called the city of Placentia and said, "Is this legit?" I mean, yeah,
this too legit to quit?
we've heard stranger things,
Right.
And so at that point,
Because we have badges, guns, and handcuffs, and we'd like to use them.
so at that point, the city said, "No, I don't think we are wiring $5 million, to produce a documentary about why I don't know where
Right.
Placentia gets its name from."
Right.
And
Which
at
is
that
a
point,
horrible
it
name,
started.
by the way.
I know.
Right. Placenta? You're talking about placenta? No, it's placentia.
Cha.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
get this all the time.
That H or that
Go
C on
get
it.
out.
They call the city. The city does some fact finding, some digging around, and
Which shouldn't be too hard.
exactly.
Yeah, there's a deficit of $1 more than we should be spending. Yep, that's a problem. Fraud.
Yep. And so immediately once they started the investigation at the city, the financial services manager immediately it says started to crumble, broke down, said he didn't mean to steal it.
He didn't mean to.
He always paid the money back.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Because he knew Mr. Smooth, who had a gambling deal that could actually bring that money
He
back.
was just investing on behalf of the city.
Well, who else
And
would?
investments go south.
So he's an aggressive investor. So what was the end result of that? What happened to Bill, once Bob, now Bill again?
So Bill and Bob are now. This was just.
Bill is a guy who's local, just to remind you.
Correct.
Okay.
This
happens
was
to
just 5 days ago.
Oh, shit.
So they got the city manager, the financial services manager in Placentia gets arrested. He's awaiting trial, pled not guilty. And again, I should mention all subjects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Bad boy, bad boy.
Was my phone going off? So he's in jail, and then
Bill,
I don't know about Bill, to be perfectly honest with you yet. I would imagine they're going to get Bill on some kind of complicity or accessory
Yeah.
to the crime. But as this just
Probably
happened
have
so
Bill,
recently ago,
speak against Bob would be my
yeah,
guess.
Bill was a little bit of a tweaker, from what I've heard.
Really?
Yeah.
Go figure.
So who knows? He's probably holed up at a Seagull Suite somewhere.
Seagull Sweet.
Yeah.
I used to have 1.5 million. Now I ain't got shit. All right.
know.
Next
So he
story. Is this
pissed
our
it all
final
away.
story?
This is our final story, and
right.
this one really, if you want to talk about, in my opinion,
Is this
the
the one that's got
lowest
the
of the low.
investigation going here that you actually, got in there and people got in there and did
Yeah.
some snitch?
Yep.
Good.
So this is a guy, and this just happened within the last week. This was a guy that
Can I just make one statement? It's fascinating that so much of this is happening. It just seems I'm
It's-
such an innocent guy. I really am. I don't look innocent. I have a dark side to me, but I don't do this. I don't even think these thoughts. And there's millions of dollars of lies happening. It feels like daily. I mean, imagine if we looked at every casino who's dealing with this crap. It must be an ongoing onslaught of a bunch of
yeah.
lying bastards trying to steal money to spend money. I mean, it just seems.
Can you
insane.
imagine? I mean, this is Las Vegas. Can you imagine the degeneracy that goes on in Atlantic City, for example?
You think it's worse?
Probably.
Really?
Have you ever been to Atlantic City?
No, but I would. But there's more opportunity to do that here than Atlantic City.
There is, but I mean, it depends, white collar versus blue collar, and that's, we get into that. But.
All right. Give us our final story.
So we started off with a guy that conned some people, saying that, people that frankly probably should have known better
Right.
than a guy that could beat the casinos. Then we get to a guy that's embezzling from, a city, so it didn't necessarily affect one or two specific people.
Right.
Now, I heard the city actually, on a side note, had to cut back some services. Probably will be a tax increase coming soon on your property
They're
taxes.
going to call it the LV tax. What's that mean?
Yeah.
That, no matter. You don't need to know.
Don't ask. Just vote yes on issue 2.
Right. But if you hear about Bob, send him a fucking flowers.
Yeah, and the library's not open anymore. It's by invite only.
Right.
So now we come to our, in my opinion, just the true bottom of the barrel. So we've got a guy who was convicted in 2011 of mortgage fraud. Mm-hmm. He was in a neighboring state. He was the 4th largest mortgage fraudster back when all that happened.
Wow.
What, 6 years ago? 4 to 6 years ago?
Yeah, right.
He's the number 4 mortgage fraudster.
He's pretty good.
Pretty good. He allegedly scammed around $12 million from different mortgage companies and people that he had brought into the organization. And there were some legitimate people thought they were just buying a house, and it was their lucky day they could get approved for that much money.
Right.
And it turns out that
not so much.
Turns out that they kind of forged their loan papers. Huh. Anyways, 4th biggest fraudster. He gets sentenced to 90 months in prison.
Okay.
In federal, not necessarily federal club fed.
Right.
But
big boy prison.
Big boy prison for 90 months. Okay.
Yeah.
While he's in prison, and this man is supposed to be, or he starts to portray himself as a Mormon that's just fallen astray a little bit.
Sure.
And haven't we all at some point in time?
I think we have.
So once he's incarcerated,
let's give him a name.
This is David.
Okay.
David. So he's doing 90 months in the federal pen.
Attaboy, Dave.
With a year left. So just last year, he writes to the judge. He writes him a letter because he's got some free time on his hands.
What else is he going to do?
And he writes the judge a letter, and I'm just going to quote some various parts here.
Dear Judge.
Dear Judge, I want to thank you with every fiber of my being. I am grateful I'm not the person I was. I'm grateful for the humbling experiences over these years of incarceration.
That's his boyfriend.
I know. I know. They're supposed to keep their pants on right now as we're watching. I know that the right thing was done and that sending me to prison was what I needed. Mm-hmm. I needed to make changes.
Sure.
Then he continues on. I am far from perfect, but I'm for the first time happy with the man in the mirror. He continues, I need to be there for he's asking basically, for some leniency. Hey, maybe
he's already been in. He's already been in for some amount of time.
Right.
He wants to get out a little early.
Yeah. And he says, I need to be there for my daughter, parents, and family who need me, and to prove to them and the rest of the world that I've made the changes needed to be more successful than ever.
Yeah.
Now here comes the real ass kissing. Apparently the judge wrote a book at some point. And again, he's got some free time on his hands, so do a little reading.
Read a book.
I read your book, and it was no wonder why you're a New York Times best-selling author.
What's that sound you hear? That's the sound of a man sucking another man's butt.
You're such a great writer and judge. Mm-hmm. You're fair, honorable, and a great role model and someone I look up to. I am blessed to have had the contact with you in this life that I have had. And then he ends it, I know the consequences of not doing the right things, and I've learned my lesson. My actions will speak louder than words. Please consider this second chance for me to prove it and be that success story. Oh, and by the way, happy holidays. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season.
PSSS, I swallow. So that's a good talk. It's good. Okay, so he sends that, and
sends that.
He eventually gets out.
God
bless him.
He gets out March 14th.
All right.
Okay.
Of this year. There we go.
48 hours. I mean, what are you going to do now? You're out. You're a free man.
What you going to do? Sit around?
Right? I mean, your family needs you.
Yeah.
You're a changed person.
Yeah.
You've got $12 million in restitution payments to make. You should probably get to work on that, right?
Yeah. I know how to do it, too.
How's that?
Gamble.
Well, you two think alike. Birds of a feather flock together.
Mr. Smooth.
48 hours after leaving prison on supervised release, he is at a high-limit room in Las Vegas losing $100,000 on high limit baccarat.
Boom.
So that money was buried in the desert somewhere.
So he had money laying around. Let's make sure people get that.
Yep.
So he walked out, and they're like, you got to pay $12 million, whatever you said. He's
Yep.
like, yeah, I'm good for it. We probably never said that, but he probably implied it. Next thing you know, he's at a casino, and somehow, how did the money get to? How did he spend $100 million or $100,000? How did that happen?
High limit baccarat.
But did he walk in with
Yeah.
$100,000?
Yep.
Wait.
Yep.
hold on. So he walks in with $100,000 in cash.
Yep.
How the fuck do you do that without actually pissing? I feel like I'm going to pee myself right now thinking that somebody walked into a door with $100,000, and he just walked in with $100,000. Mm-hmm. Okay, can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I walk into the cage, to the cage.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Mr. Smooth's friend, David.
Uh-huh.
Don't worry about the stripes. It's a new look for me.
Yeah.
I like it.
I didn't have time
It's
to...
slimming. They're vertical, not horizontal.
Right.
I would like to get some chips. How many would you like, Mr. David? 100,000.
Well, 10,000 at a time.
Oh, so he didn't do it all. Okay, so he wasn't a dumbass.
No.
He did 10,000, but you have to ask at 10,000.
Yep.
So they asked him,
Yep.
who are you? And did he say David?
He did.
His real name?
He absolutely gave us his real name. He gave us his real ID, and told casino personnel that he was a successful marketing executive.
So he loses 10,000. He loses 10,000. He loses 10,000. He does that 10 times.
Yep, rinse and repeat.
How to lose money. That's the book from David, Mr. Smooth. $100,000 down. He's down $100,000.
Yep.
That he brought in.
Yep.
So the casino's like, woo!
We got a live one.
I got this. Ladies and gentlemen, we got this a whale.
Yep.
So then what happens?
Well, then he apparently, I don't know if he blew through all the money that he had buried in the desert somewhere, or he just thought maybe he should slow down a little. So he got the great idea. You know what? I'm a successful marketing executive.
Yes, he is.
How about you guys give me some money?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what that's what they did.
Oh.
So
here's another 50.
So he said, you know what? Why don't you let me have $50,000 in casino credit?
Okay.
And the casino said, okay.
All right.
He just lost 100. He should be good for it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
He's a successful marketing executive.
He's got 100,000. He's liquid 100,000. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Right.
So he bet another 50.
Yep.
How'd that go?
Lost it.
Wow. He actually bought Mr. Smooth's book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe he met him at Mr. Lucky's. I don't know. Got the 777
So
Gambler
people
special.
are running and jumping and smoothing.
Steak and shrimp.
All right, so he's
hop in
he's
place.
100. He's 100K down on his own. He's another 50K down on
Yep.
his own. And then what does he do?
Most people would maybe go home, maybe
Cry.
lick their wounds.
Shoot themselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
Might be the way to go.
But you know what? Losing's not the problem. It's lack of money.
Right.
So,
Because I will win it back.
yep. So he asked for more money.
Oh, okay. And then and then what did the casino do?
Gave him more money.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So how much more?
Another 50.
So he's now 200.
Yep.
And did he bet that 50?
Now he tipped some and, went to the restaurant. So I believe the final tally is $196,675.
Oh, so it's a rounding error, really.
Yeah.
All right. So he goes to the next 50, and
Yep.
but he did pretty well there. He made some money back.
Well, no, he lost it all again.
Oh, for fuck's sake! So he's 200 down.
Yep.
And then what happened?
196,
7.
675.
I stand corrected. Thank you. So then what happens?
That's when then he finally goes home.
He leaves.
He leaves.
Okay.
Back to the hole that he came out of. Not that hole. Hopefully somewhere a little bit nicer.
That hole's name was Fred, or convict 19778. His boyfriend.
Oh. It was a touching reunion.
They had flowers.
So he goes back home, and again, the problem is not the original crime. The problem is not losing the money. What's always the problem? It's the lack of money. If I just had more,
Right.
then I could go win it all back.
Right.
So he goes home, and this is where it really starts to be bad, because now he wasn't conning rich people who didn't know any better and should have. Now he wasn't stealing from a nameless, faceless organization, although, City Placentia, not nameless or faceless.
They want to be nameless.
He
Horrible
goes
name.
back, and now he cons, of all people, dear old dad.
That's no good.
And he tells dear old dad that he is a changed man.
Right.
He is now needs to start. He's got this great idea to start an electronics business, and he just needs $100,000 to start up a business.
Inventory.
I mean, this is why people go on Shark Tank.
Sure.
The startup costs. You need marketing.
Sure.
Inventory.
Yeah.
People. Right. To have a
HR.
successful business.
Okay.
Amazon doesn't run for free.
Hell no.
Yeah, those people like to be paid. No.
Typically.
Yeah.
And
There's lawsuits about that. But
Right.
anyways, I like
that's another show.
Prime shipping. Don't we all?
Love it. It's like crack.
So
I like would you like it in 2 hours? Yes. Yes, I would. It's some water. I still want it in 2 hours.
Get the little old lady whose Social Security doesn't cover her rent payments to move faster, because I need that hard drive that I'm not going to open for a week in 2 hours.
I actually did that. I'm like, I ordered a hard drive. I'm like, okay. That's it. Scott,
So-
you are in a first world. Okay, go ahead.
So he tells Dad, "You know what, Dad? I need money to open up this business." He then and Dad is, I'm guessing, of an advanced age,
Right.
or maybe the mental state isn't quite there, or it's just a father who wants to,
Right.
he
He wants to have his kid do good
wants
work
to believe
finally.
in him,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he brings Dad into the casino, gets Dad
Holy
because he
shit.
tells Dad that
So Dad's in Vegas.
Dad's in Vegas to open up his own credit line with the casino,
No.
because of the casino, in order to help finance this business. Dave's been in jail a little while,
Yeah.
so his credit score not exactly where Wells Fargo would like it to be,
Right.
but the casino, they're a little bit more lenient,
As they
so
should
they're going to give him the funds he needs. You don't have to play it. You're going to sign up for the funds. You're going to co-sign, essentially, and then I'll be able to get this startup money.
So Dad put the money in the casino. I'm going to take it right back out, basically. Kind of.
Dad, so he brings Dad in. Dad gets approved because Dad was I guess successful enough that the casino approved him for $100,000.
Holy Jesus Christ.
And they so he got another 30 from the father. So I mean, I guess you could say thankfully.
Wait, hold on. So the casino approved Dad for $100,000.
Yep.
Credit.
Yes.
So what was the 30,000?
That's what he actually only ended up taking.
So
he didn't
actually
withdraw
gambled
all
away.
100. That's what Dave did.
Yeah.
Dad gets 30,000 under his name, and gives it to the son.
I'm confused.
So Dad goes up to the cage and says, "I'd like a $100,000 credit line."
And they said
They
yes.
approve him.
Yeah.
So then he withdraws 30,000.
Okay, I get it.
Gives it to
okay.
the son.
And the son pisses that away.
The son pisses that away. Sends Dad back to where he came from.
Right.
Back to the Dad and Mom's house, and
Right.
and
At what point did the casino say, maybe we should kick his ass?
well, it happened when then Dad went back home, and he talked. He got Dad to wire more money in.
And then the casino said, wait a minute.
Yep,
This is
because
not
now
right.
we've got Dad who had no gambling history,
Right.
took out 30,000 and never played it, and now is wiring money in. So this is a lot of business from a customer who doesn't play here.
Right. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So then, so the casino said, okay, sniffy, sniffy, sniff, sniff.
Yep.
This guy's bad news.
Yep.
He eventually gets put back in jail.
He does.
Fast forward
the
to get me in
casino.
jail.
The casino calls the FBI,
Yeah.
tells them everything they got.
Right.
Because the whole thought is, none of this is real time, especially when you're on a Friday night, a Saturday night,
Right.
Business is hopping. So there's a reasonable expectation that, as soon as you walk in the door, we're not going to know everything.
Sure.
So what the casinos want to do, they kind of get their cake and eat it too. If they can catch it early on enough, and yet at the same time make some money, chances are they're going to get to keep that money.
Yep.
If they would go on
interesting.
for a long period of time,
Right.
then they've got some culpability on the part of the casino to say, hey, you guys
Right.
should have caught this a little bit earlier. Maybe like
Yep.
19. Hey, Sands, you should have caught this $19 million ago.
Right. Fair enough.
So the casinos now are being very proactive, getting in touch with law enforcement to kind of get this, so that not only are they the good citizen, they put the guy away, but they get to keep 196,675. It's a win-win-win.
So overall, the story here is what?
So
Don't fucking come in with bad money.
yeah, the story is that, you know, everyone says, oh, things were better when the mob ran this town. You know, you didn't have
Actually, not so.
all this trouble. I know, but people love to think that, right? They
do
put their
think that.
rose-colored glasses on. They
I
glamorize
talk about this
the
all
past.
the time. You know who says that all the time? Musicians. Musicians are always saying this to me. Yeah, it was better when the mob ran it because they didn't care about money. They just wanted to bring the people in. I'm like, actually, the mob. They also end with, they're not a bunch of CPAs and bean counters. I said, wait a minute. What the mob was bean counters with guns. If that money wasn't being spent in the casino, they wouldn't be paying Frank Sinatra, whatever it was. But the world has changed, so people aren't coming in watching the midnight lounge show and then spending thousands of dollars gambling. That's why the mob allowed that to happen. That shit stopped.
Yep.
So that's why now they're fucking hiring DJs, although that might go away because people are coming in. I'll pay the DJ 6 figures if people are buying bottles of vodka for $800. You kidding me? That's math. And any mobster worth his salt would be go, yeah, I'll get DJ Smicky Smack in here if I've got somebody blowing away a bunch of money to prove to the women that he's a hot shit. Fuck, that's exactly what they were doing back then. It's just different music and different
It was. Well,
end results.
It went from bean counters with guns to bean counters with Excel.
Yeah. Finally, the Excel.
Yep.
So, what did I want to say? One last thing. Oh, I think ultimately,
it doesn't matter, you know, where you're at. There are, again, it's America's playground. But whether it's you're worried about, you know, banks or your cell phone company or Big Brother, whatever it is, people come here to enjoy their money. But the casinos are looking to make sure that the money you enjoy is your money.
And beyond that, yeah, for sure. And the casinos have a great
vested interest.
And a great deal of capability.
Absolutely.
To be able to find out what's really going on. So, I mean, probably at a level close to, maybe not the same, but law enforcement. They have the ability to do searching that helps them know, hey, this guy's a bad guy. I mean, there are casinos who flushed out bad guys that the FBI didn't know were bad guys until the casino said, hey, this is what I just found. This guy's a bad guy. You should go, maybe pick him up at Mr. Lucky's, right?
But you want to know what the best part? You're absolutely correct. There are tools available, and there are specialized people that do this. But this last guy, Dave, and his $12 million number 4 fraudster in that state at that time.
Right.
You know how the casino found out about this? They put his name in Google.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
That's it.
Boom.
The same Google.com that you can go to, I can go to, that made this laptop.
That's crazy. That made that laptop. All right. Thank you for that. I have decided never to gamble again. Actually, I
Your
don't
money's
gamble
good.
now. Hey, come on in. How would you like $500,000, Mr. Whitney? Yeah, that sounds good. All right. We're going to take a quick break. This is a Living in Las Vegas podcast on the Vegas Video Network. This episode of Living in Las Vegas is brought to you by the Vegas Video Co-op. Because your online presence is often your only chance to begin a meaningful sales conversation, please take a moment and visit VegasVideoCoop.com. Highlight your business, start a talk show, or unleash your genius for a low monthly fee. Use promo code LILV for a special discount to our viewers and listeners. That's VegasVideoCoop.com. Everybody, it's time. Yes?
I just have one question before we jump in. I've been wanting to ask this for several weeks now. I'm on VegasVideoCoop.com. Where do I enter that promo code at?
Well, it's different.
Oh.
You bitch. Well, you go to the... Actually, I can tell you. See where it says pricing and membership?
Uh-huh.
See where it says you have to give us your name so we can give you pricing and you have an application to fill?
Do I have to click request pricing application button?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Then I get a box for name and email.
Yeah, so give me your name and your email.
Oh, but where do I put the promo code?
I'll give you the ad after you do that.
Okay.
Right. I want to miss you. Fucking
I'm
spy
just
piece of
wondering
shit.
where to-
All right. Hey, if you want us to answer any question, you're going to send it to On Air Q down there at livinginlv.com.
Unless it's about where to put the promo code.
Right. I'm going to miss you, but no one else will. You know what 86 means, right?
I do.
8 miles out, 6 feet down. Okay.
Is that where it comes from?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that.
Oh, so you don't know. Oh,
I mean, I know what it means.
Mr. Everybody Knows Stuff doesn't know everything, does he? Well, that's okay. Here we go. Our first email comes from Sylvia.
Sylvia writes, and I quote, "Hello.
Hi.
I was admiring Scott's Ray-Ban sunglasses on, or excuse me, not sunglasses. I was admiring just Scott's Ray-Ban glasses on YouTube. Most people with Ray-Bans like myself have sunglasses, but Scott wears Ray-Bans every day. That's the style he rocks.
That's right.
Can someone, namely me, please ask him, number one,
How did you get so handsome?
what is the model of his Ray-Ban eyeglasses?
Great question.
Parentheses, number should be on the inside of one of the arms on his glasses.
Right?
Question number two.
Yeah.
What is the official color of his transitions lenses?
Right?
Brown or gray?
Okay.
Thank you for putting up with my silly questions, LOL, from Scott at podworks.com.
That's not true.
Or, I mean, hope to hear
Sylvia.
from you guys soon, Sylvia in San Diego.
All right, so here, Sylvia, first of all, God bless you. The FBI are now, as a restraining order against you. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that in a safe for Scott way. Actually, here are my transition lenses. They are RB7014 5156 54 square 18140. That's the actual picture from the transition lenses.
Well, no,
And-
that's from the frame.
yeah, from the frame. I mean, from the frame. Sorry, and I use gray as opposed to brown. Nobody does brown anymore, for God's sake. It's all about the gray transition lenses. Okay.
Next week, I can't wait to find out whether it's boxers or briefs and what size.
You know what I liked about you the first half of the show? You weren't being a little shit.
Oh, I was when I walked in, though, so I'm just trying
are.
to...
I'm kidding.
I got an average to keep up.
I love you like I love that little hemorrhoid thing I had taken care of just a couple of weeks ago. Okay, next question is from Glenn Santa. Glenn writes, I got to listen to a guy who was an impressionist today. Who
Pops asked if Sylvia's the VP of marketing at Ray-Ban.
Wouldn't that be funny? That's funny. Okay. Pops is pretty good. By the way, Mike writes, missing BG now. Fuck you, Mike. All right. We're dancing as fast as we can here. What do you want from us? All right. Hey, Scott. I noticed in the Roku channel store, they have a live stream channel I can add. Doesn't your live shows run on live stream? Is there a way we can actually watch the podcast live on Roku, either now or in the future? It would be nice to sit back and watch on the big screen. Did you know about this channel? Now, I don't know why you're making all these fucking gesticulations here, but it's a real
Is this
fucking-
one? Right. From Melissa.Whitney
Glenn,
at
you are such a
IGT.
dick. All right. By the way, we're auditioning for co-hosts who actually aren't dicks. Okay, so here's your answer, Glenn, who's a nice guy who actually supports the show. When was the last time you saw a show that you weren't on? I don't think you even watch the shows that you're fucking on, quite frankly. So yeah, let me watch him bend over and laughing because he's such a lie. By the way, David calls. He wants to have you invest in one of his deals. All right, Glenn. So yes, live stream does have a Roku channel. We are not on the live stream Roku channel, and here's why. There's two versions of live stream. There is the version that they are running now, and then they have the original version. We are actually on the original version of live stream. You can't get this anymore if you go to the live stream website and say, yeah, I want to do live streaming. What we're doing, you can't get. The reason why we're doing this primarily is because of the live chat. So what you're seeing right now, if this is a live show, the delay between what we're actually saying and what the live chat people or the live people see is about 2 seconds, which allows us to interact with a live chat. Their new version of live stream, the delay between live and when you actually see it is about 30 seconds. That's not usable if you want to have live communication with your audience. So we've decided not to do that. Well, because we're using their original version, not their new version, we're not listed on their live stream Roku channel. But the good news is, and I think maybe Ted is doing this right now, he has in the past in the live chat, is that when this show is live, if you go to our Roku channel, a live option pops up. So it's not there when we're not live, but when we are live, a live option pops up, and you can, in fact, watch this show live within Roku. Of course, there's no live chat capability, but you could watch this on Roku and, be chatting on your laptop at the same time. Although I think there's a bit of a delay there. So that's how you handle that.
I can't wait for the next question. Dear Scott, how are you so awesome all the time?
That was a good one. I actually got to hear that hit you in the face. You know what? My life just got better just because I heard it hit you in the face. All right. That's it for live check or listener email.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to know how much you bench or...
They don't want to hear that because it's pretty sad, actually. Okay. RQS. Real quick stories. First of all, intro video. Again, congratulations to Craig for doing an outstanding video. With one minor exception, he did it portrait as opposed to landscape.
Friends don't let friends take vertical
They
video.
don't. We would just love for you to send us a video, and you're just going to say, hey, I'm Dave Smith from Effingham, Illinois. You're watching the Living in Las Vegas podcast on the Vegas Video Network, and then you can say anything pithy or funny afterwards. You want to take that phone and rotate it so it's in landscape, and then send it to OnAirQ at Living in LV. By the way, I got a guy who has sent in probably 4 videos, and it'll be his videos for the next 4 shows unless you guys get involved. By the way, they're international videos. I've got them in South Africa. I've got them in Amsterdam. That's how big we are.
And they cleared customs, huh?
Yeah, we know people. We know a few things.
I thought smuggled inside those bricks of marijuana, they might get held up.
That's so funny you say about smuggling. Well, I'll talk about this in the after show.
Okay.
I've got a guy who might be a guest, take your place, you evil bastard, who had a movie about him for smuggling hash into Turkey.
Ooh.
It's really super interesting.
Turkish smack.
Yeah. Hey, want a thank you to Binkie and Bud. We had a have a drink on me meeting with these 2 guys last week, 2 guys and gals, and they were very nice. They actually sent me a gift.
Unassuming,
They gave
non-threatening.
me a gift. Shot glasses with Chicago, the Windy City. Isn't that nice?
Oh, how about that?
Pretty nice, right? And they gave me 4. 1 for each day that I work. So thank you for that. I thought that was very nice of the Binks and the Buds. And
They're glass too. Unlike those plastic ones.
They write a little bit later. I will show you some pictures that they had sent our way. Also, hockey in Vegas.
Hockey in Vegas.
Apparently,
It's going to be 115 this weekend, and we're getting ready to lay some ice.
So it was announced today that the NHL has actually approved.
It was reported today.
Yeah.
The NHL hasn't announced it, but the AP, Associated Press, one of the more reliable, if that's such a thing anymore, news source, has announced that it's going to be approved.
Yep.
Vegas is getting sticks and pucks and skates and.
So I will tell you, in the beginning when this first came, I thought, I don't know if I care or not. Now, Brett.
No, you're not a big sports guy.
Well, I am a sports guy. I mean, I go to 51's games. That's the only sports that's happening here. So I go to those games. I like those games. I've been watching the finals in the NBA. We watch Melissa and I watch every one of them.
What's that series at?
It's at 3-2 right now.
Oh,
surprisingly, Golden State should have won last night.
Look at you.
And they choked, actually. Actually, what happened was LeBron became LeBron for the first time in the entire series. You want any more, you bitch?
No, we're not guys talk sports or guys chat sports.
Right.
Well, that's another show.
So it was. So I actually like sports. I don't watch NBA all 145,000 games. That's insane.
Yeah.
But I do like the playoffs.
Okay.
So when this whole thing happened, I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Come to find out, yeah, we'll see.
Have you ever been to a live hockey game?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sharks, San Jose Sharks. Went to a couple there.
How long ago?
Oh, well, I lived there 10 years ago.
Okay.
So, 11 years ago, whatever it was. And it was fun. I mean, but you go to a hockey game for the fights. That's why you go. That's why you go. That's why everybody goes. Nobody goes to the hockey game for the games. Everybody goes, well, I want to see that guy beat the shit out of that guy. Who's the fighter? Who's the guy? Who's the enforcer? Yeah, I want to watch number 23 because that guy, how do you know he's an enforcer? He's got no fucking front teeth.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
what minor league hockey, the Wranglers, was great for.
Oh, yeah. I went and saw one of those.
Yeah. I went to just a handful of games, but I went to one game where there were 3 fights in a row. Like before the referee even dropped the puck, 2 guys started going at it.
Really?
They get kicked out. He gets ready to drop it again. 2 more guys start going at it.
Yeah.
And then this happened a 3rd time, and then finally the game started.
Right. And that's hockey. So we're hoping for that kind of thing here for the Black Knights or whatever we're called, whatever the thing is. But I'll tell you what. So I looked at it, I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a season ticket thing.
Are you really?
Well, so Brett was one of the very first. There's 14,000 people who've done season tickets.
Allegedly.
The vast majority of them have paid for the $20 or $30 seats that are up in the. So if this is
a game, not total.
Yeah.
The cheapest seats were, I think, $1,500.
No, well, hold on. Let me just explain. So if this is the what do you call it?
Arena.
The arena.
You're a big sports fan.
Fuck off. These $20 or $30 per game tickets for season tickets are here to the very highest away, far away, nosebleedy, the worst seats ever. But a whole boatload of people bought those. The majority of people who are those 10,000 people bought those. They're sold out.
Yeah.
So, and there's a couple other ones that were sold
But
out.
let's not. They're $1,500 each.
Well, hold on. No, that's not how it works. So it depends on what you buy. It depends if you buy one. First of all, they have different offerings. They have quarter season, half season, full season, and they have different seating places. So, like I did a quarter season, which is, by the way, how many games are in a hockey season? 80. Half of those are here locally, so it's 40 games. So a full season is 40 games, right? Now, there are some seats that are $100 a game. Right, so there's two of you. That's $8,000 to get in. I'm like, well, that seems high. I'm not into that. So what I did was I basically replaced the Smith Center with this hockey thing. So we're going to do a quarter season, 10 games, and I forget what the price, but it was in a nice area, lower instead of the nosebleeds. So I'm going to, if we do it, because basically this is a deposit. You're saying I want in. But eventually they'll come back and go, okay, here's the real cost. What do you do? And they're probably going to have a 30-40% drop off, would be my guess. But if it's what they said it will be, which is $100 or whatever a game or whatever, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do that for 10 games. I'm in. Let's do that. So I'm kind of excited. I think it'll be fun.
You 1%ers would.
Yeah. Okay. So
us regular people up in the second. Oh, I'm sorry. This isn't pick your poison.
Well, the regular people all bought the sold out stuff, and the truth is, I mean, of course.
Now, don't forget to budget some money for parking.
Yeah. My guess, if I'm a season ticket holder, I better get a deal on parking.
All right. MGM.
Yeah, right. Okay, and finally for RQS, before we get into our chat questions, how's Scott's diet doing? People made fun of my diet. I've had many people go, oh, yeah, it's, what'd you call it?
I didn't call it.
Well,
it's on the internet. Scientists have called it a crash diet.
Yeah, scientists don't know shit. That whole round Earth thing, debatable. I've been doing it for now 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Looking to see if the Earth is round?
5.8 pounds.
Oh, congratulations. You know the average human fluctuates like up to 2 pounds a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Happy. Hey, that whole motivational speaking thing that you were trying to do, is that going okay? I feel it's not. I feel you should probably let that go and maybe go back into the casinos.
3 books is
and hunt down bad guys. All right, live chat questions.
No, you skipped real quick.
What?
Talking about hockey. Something we talked
Stadium.
about last week.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, you added that.
I did add that.
You rat bastard.
Well, I given access to the document.
Pre-approved.
Yep.
By
so ESPN is reporting that the Southern Nevada Tourism and Infrastructure Committee is going to recommend the current plan as it exists now to the governor to go to the state legislature for approval. So they meet June 22nd, and they are going to approve that $750 million should be allocated from the convention center to the stadium.
Oh, from the convention center. So does that mean there's not going to be a tax on the tourist, or it's still going to?
That
be a
I'm
tax?
not sure.
Well,
It didn't specify. It just said basically that the committee is expected to approve the request for $750 in the funds to the governor. Now from there, the governor, if he agrees, will send it to the state, call a special session, and send it to the state legislature for their vote.
What I would like somebody to do, I can't do this because I'm way too busy. You can't do it because you're taking time making fun of my diet. I would like somebody to go, okay,
that kind of writes itself, though.
What is the, we'll see, fucker. What is how many people is required to sustain how many arenas and things? So we've got, two big. We have the MGM property, Mandalay Bay property. Now we've got T-Mobile. Sands wants to do something.
Thomas Mack Center.
Thomas Mack has something. They're doing a 5,000 seat one right across from the park. What else?
Raider Stadium.
The Raiders thing, if it happens. So that seems like a lot. There's 2 million people here. Now, we've got 40 million people coming in every year-ish. That obviously has some effect on that. Like, for instance, Glenn Santa said, yeah, I'm in every time there's a Canadian game. I'm showing up, and I'm going to go watch the Canadian game playing hockey. Great. It would be interesting to know if somebody has actually analyzed that and figured out, yeah, you know what? That is a sustainable thing. I don't know.
It's only 10 games, though.
10 games for me.
I feel bad for the hockey folks because Vegas is going to get a hockey team, and that was the thing for a while. To your point, 14,000 people gave money before the arena was even finished.
I don't feel bad for them, actually.
I don't feel bad for them, but I just think it's a bit of morbid irony.
Well, I think it becomes an inside play.
That it was hockey was going to be the first pro sport.
Yeah.
Now they're going to announce it, and
Still
now everyone's like Raiders.
Maybe, but so I think what will end up happening is if this really happens, it changes things for sure. And if they actually announce, here they are, the Black Raider, whatever we're called, the hockey team. That will be a big deal. It'll be a huge deal. It'll be the first professional sports team in Las Vegas. That's a big deal.
Major sports. We had others.
Who?
The Las Vegas Locomotives of the U.S. football.
But nobody believes in that
United
shit.
Football. No, but it was still professional football.
But nobody understands that. It's was that the one with Vince? What's his name?
No, that was the Las Vegas Outlaws.
Yeah, right.
That was the XFL.
How'd that go?
Yeah.
Boom.
And before that, we had a Canadian Football League team.
It doesn't matter. I mean, seriously, NHL, NFL, NBA.
The major leagues.
Yeah, the big boys. So this would be the first. This is going to happen. If it happens, that's going to be a big fucking deal. So it will be. But here's the other thing that's cool about it. I think if this happens, and I'm not sure, but the groundswell of interest in that, and I think the season ticket thing indicates that there is a real interest in supporting something like that. And I think that's going to be the key, is do they really have people support? Perfect example. So what did it cost us to build that stadium? The answer, nothing. Didn't cost us a penny. That helped support us. So did a billionaire put this together? Yeah. Do I give a shit? No, because it didn't cost me anything. So you want my money and you're going to entertain me with people beating the shit out of each other on the ice? I'm in. I'm completely in. We'll see. Now, I'm not going to do it for a whole season. I'll do it for a quarter season, but I'm in. So I think they'll be okay if it comes to fruition. Now, if the Raiders come here, or whoever comes here, that's a different play. I don't know if that will cannibalize the NHL story, because that's the real question that they have, of course, is if they're deciding between NFL and NHL, well, from a season ticket perspective, it's probably 8 times the cost or whatever. But if it cannibalizes, then that's a problem for those guys. But the truth is, T-Mobile is proving itself as being capable of supporting itself with all the other shit going on there. So they're probably going to be okay. I just want something to happen here that is funded by business and that works. That's not raping us or not hurting our tourists. By the way, I was at Newport Beach this weekend on some family business, and I should show you the the hotel bill for that. Talk about holy shit. I bitch about what's happening here in Vegas. Go to Newport Beach.
But see, we look at that. That's what people say. Like when you say, oh, you can raise $750 million just by upping the tourist tax 1%, because they point to the Orlandos, the San Diegos, the Newport Beaches, where it's, 14%, I think, is the tax?
Oh, well, let's talk about it next week, because it was interesting. But I actually have a response to that. But yeah,
Did you invite me back?
Well, maybe somebody else will come back.
Okay.
Somebody who will be sitting there will be talking about this. All right. Real quick. Jimmy wants to know who will have to pay for the NHL's $500 million fee, and the answer is
asterisk. They don't know it's $500 million.
Yeah, but the answer is the guys, the NHL. I mean, that team is going to pay for it. We're not paying a penny for it. That's the deal. Whether it's $500 million or not, I didn't know that was a question. I thought it was that. They're going to pay. They're going to pay that money because they think it's a deal. It's not going to be a people thing, which is what I think is cool. And then Danny wants to know, how do you keep your pool clean in this friggin' wind? 2 things. I have an automatic pool cleaner in my pool, little pop-up things. that come up and clean and basically push the stuff down to your drains and pull it out. And I have a guy who comes in every week and helps me figure shit out as well. And that's the only way to do that, unless you have kids and then you have them clean your pool. And that, by the way, is what they need to do, because they have to grow up and learn how to take care of themselves. Come on. All right. It's time for Have a Drink on Me. It's part of the show where I show you a bar or a casino bar or a pub or something. Show you a picture of it, and you get to guess where I was at. And if you do guess where I was at, well, you can win some pretty fabulous prizes. Is that right? It is right. Wayne, for the love of God, don't screw this up. What can they win?
When it's 117 degrees outside, you're going to need something to kind of mop up that sweat. Sure, you could use a hanky or a tissue, but you could also use a Vegas Video Network visor. Velcro adjusted, whether you're a small head, a big head, or somewhere in between, you strap that puppy to your dome, and you'll be a nice cool 116 degrees.
That's good. But wait.
If you have fingers and or children that can open up shrink-wrapped packaging, then you may be listening to one of 3 CDs by guitar solo artist Scott Whitney. From the Jazzathon, Chris McCoustic, or Chris McCoustic 2, your choice, because it's not a 3 CD set.
No.
That would be breaking the bank.
Right.
You'd have to win 3 times in a row.
Crazy here. Or
Scott will have you take his recycling out for him and clean his pool. If you've ever wanted to be the pool boy to the stars,
That's pretty good.
or at least to Scott,
all right. And you said
this can be yours if the bar is right.
And where do you send an email to, Wayne?
You send it to haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com.
Look at you remembering.
Yeah.
By the way, that look of panic on your eye when you first tried to remember that was awesome. Okay. Here's what we got.
Results, Scott. That's what I
This
delivered.
was a tough one, apparently. 17 out of 18 got this right. Here is a picture. Oh, wait a minute. Oops, almost forgot. Why would you want one of them their visors? Oh, yeah, that's it. I almost forgot that. Sorry about that, everybody. Look, you see people like Wayne, you're like, well, he seems like a fair enough guy, but he seems a little cooler than he used
Charming,
to be.
little dashing, very debonair.
Little. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like everything about you. Here's what I really like about you. He changed. He grew. He became a part of the galaxy of God. There is Michael G. and there's Scott. There's Binkie and Bud. There's Alan and Aaron. And there's the 2 when they decided to go to a nudist place. There's Bob and his wife and Danny. There's Shanna. There's Greg and Glenn and Jimmy. There's Rob and there is Ken, who took me to Hawaii. And I'm in Russia with Stuart. There is Christina, whose babies are because of my music. There is Don and Jackie, and there's another Michael. There's Mike Pugh. Got a gun, let's stay the hell away from Pops and Sammy and a dog and President. There's your buddy Scott. Who the hell is that? There's Wade. Take a good look, because it's the last time we're going to see him, I'm guessing. And of course, there's Brad. Hey, Brad, please help me. Okay, is there ways to make or to win more stuff? Yes. Correct answer, 1. If you send in the first correct answer, 2. If you show us a picture of the Jazzathon CD in the wild, which includes a picture of you, like, for example, there's a baby inside that belly, and there's Russia. I can see Russia from here. If you do those things,
okay, Sarah Palin.
Another option, don't judge me until you know me, okay? All right, so here's last week's Have a Drink on Me. Boink. It was Martorano's at the Paris. Matarona.
I think we all knew Paris.
At the Matarona.
I think one of your clue was they
home.
speak French.
Right.
At this Parisian resort on the Strip.
Yeah. So I'm trying to help people out, okay? And
Yeah,
I only
you are.
got 17 out of 18. That's like half of what we normally get. Okay. All right. So let's start going.
Only 95% of people were correct there.
Here we go.
This is the portion. This portion, have a drink on me, is sponsored by Staples.
Get
Do
your
you
pen.
need Post-it notes by the caseload? Staples.
Get your pen. Ready? Number 1, we've got Craig Daugherty. He's the first entry in and the first correct entry. Congratulations, Craigie. Hello, Scott Winnie. Stay strong, BG. Trying to be number 1. You are number 1. 1 for the correct answer. 1 for being the correct answer, number 1. And 1 for being in the live chat. It's a triple double for Craigie. Way to go, buddy. Next up, are you caught up?
Yeah.
Get away. Mike Lizowski, who's known as Mad Chipmunk. 1 for the correct answer. 1 for being in the live chat. Mad Chipmunk, live chat. Next up, Michael Snow, also known as Chicago Snowman. 1 for the correct answer. Michael Snow gets another 1 for being in the live chat. Tom Uglin. Tommy. 1 for the correct answer. That's all Tom gets this time. Sorry, Tom. Oh, did you give him a double?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you did. No, Tom, you wouldn't know that. Yeah.
No.
Oh, did you? No. No. All right, next up. Robert C., also known as Rob068 Pittsburgh, in the live chat. Let me see if Robbie's in there. I don't see him. Sorry. Uno. Jimmy Gallagher, also known as Jimmy 2Gs. 1 for the correct answer, 1 for the live shot.
If you're not in the live chat, it's okay because I haven't successfully pulled a bonus entry in weeks now.
All right, Erin Perry, who's the most talented person ever. She did that little card over there. And she did this as well. She did another one that I've got in the house that's like a Pandora box. It's amazing.
Pandora like it plays music?
Pandora like it's just magical.
Oh.
Don't push me with these questions. Andy NH in New Hampshire. 1 for the correct answer. I just saw Andrew Z, who I think's in Canada, watching us. He just won last week's had him. Chet Shotness from Wisconsin. Is he in there? Chet. He is. 1 for the live correct answer and 1 for being in the live chat. Way to go, Chet. So that's Chet. And then I got Barb. There she is. Barb Shotness, also in Wisconsin. Enjoy the show. Look forward to next week. She's in the live chat. So Barb S., 1 for the correct answer, 1 for being in the live chat. Telling you, live chat. This seems pretty obvious to me. Get yourself in the live chat. Regardless of what this guy over here says. Next, Mike Beatty says, have a great Vegas day. Who cares about
Every day's
us?
a Vegas day.
Yeah, sure it is.
Except I live in Henderson. But
All right, here we go. Next up,
Work in
we've
Vegas.
got Laura Meakin. And Laura writes, hey, Scott, an international man of meatballs, if Wayne is with you. Boom. This week's Have a Drink on Me is at the Paris, and it's the Italian restaurant called Mortaranos. Have a great week. Thank you. International man of meatballs. I may have to change that lower third.
they're delicious.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. You and me are going.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to Alan Perry. I'm not going anywhere with you, you freak. Alan, 1 for the right.
I'll buy because it's so affordable.
I'm in. Alan writes, hey, guys. The Haddam bar for this week is Martiranas over at the Paris. Aaron and I ate at this place when it was at Rio for a few weeks ago. Oh, you're pantomiming. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that they closed that restaurant and reopened to Paris. I learned something about Vegas bars, restaurants every time I play the Haddam game. Thank you for the podcast, Alan at Prescott, Arizona. Thank you, Alan. Monica Fagan. Boop, boop, boop. 1 for the correct answer. 1 for being in the live chat. And I'm going to have you read this because she sent graphics.
She sent graphics. All right.
Boom. Go, baby, go.
You're a sucker for some good graphics.
I am
Hey, Scott.
Hi.
Thank you for a great time at Bar 46/Ice Bar at the Golden Nugget.
There she is.
Quick trip report and pics.
Okay.
10 days visited 26 casinos, saw 5 shows, Ka, $1 Million Quartet, Las Vegas Comedy Club, Defending the Caveman, and Gordy Brown.
Gordy Brown.
I got a great Gordy Brown story, but well, you were there too.
That's right.
One Zoom line, Slotzilla. It was great, nice and smooth. That's good. They didn't have to get the stick
There's
and
Slotzilla.
and
There she
beat
is.
you down because you
flying.
got stuck.
No,
They have a stick if you get stuck.
nobody needs a stick.
11 restaurants. Someone does. 11 restaurants and 3 pool jacuzzi places. Flamingo, Golden Nugget, and the D. Used 2 coupon books, LVA and ACG.
There you go.
My Vegas Points, Comps, Groupon, and Restaurant.com
Boom.
saved $707.
There you go.
Woohoo, or as it's written, hoo-hoo.
Hoo-hoo.
Great trip. Great meeting you, Binkie and Bud.
Boom. Thank you, Binkie. They were a good couple. We're going to keep them around. All right. And finally, we've got Michael.
Was that supposed to be extra entries?
You gave her. Did you give her any?
No.
Well, you should
I
give
was reading
her
the letter.
We should give her 1 for being in the live chat, and that's it.
Okay.
She didn't have a picture of a good
So say Scott. So it shall
is.
come to pass.
All right. Michael writes 1 for that. Hey, Scott. It's been very interesting in your comments regarding Las Vegas losing its cool. I think this trend goes back to the corporate takeover casinos.
Oh, here we go.
Private orders, right? I.e. Binion's Casino. It's
better when the mob was here.
Right. Bean counters got control of the gambling business. I agree. It's not a good direction. It's not about bean counters.
A couple more years, the mob would have cured cancer.
It's not quite like that. I know what you're saying. A lot of people believe that. But remember, mob were bean counters with guns. If they weren't making money, they wouldn't do it. That's the way it works. Okay, next up, we've got Gene the Dance Machine. 1 for the correct answer, 1 for the live chat, and 1 more for this video opus. One more.
What if I just wrote his name twice on the same
Just
sheet?
1 more.
Okay.
For the love of Jesus.
Let me
Amazon
tell you
Rainforest.
what you can win this week.
This week's Lucky Haddam winner can choose any one of 3 amazing Scott Whitney guitar CDs.
Yeah.
Christmas Acoustic 1,
That's
Christmas
the wrong one.
Acoustic 2,
There it is.
Hey kids, Pops here. Had to break out the 3D glasses again this week. And no, we're not playing with rockets. We're not playing with drones. I'm looking out there and I see you. And I see you. Oh yeah, I see you over there too. Y'all saw all that blue in that picture. And you follow the clues about a location in Las Vegas and a location in Fort Lauderdale. And you guessed Blue Martini and you were wrong. Sorry, better luck next week. Tough clues this week, Scott. But some of us figured it out. For some of you newcomers, you might not know this.
Now it's joke.
Micah Jazzathon CD. I'm real proud of it. It's autographed. Scott Whitney and Brett Grant. Brett, get well soon. Come back and put the co-host Smackdown on Wayne the way Bob puts the video Smackdown on me every week. I've got the Vegas Video Visor.
No.
I've got the autographed Jazzathon CD.
Signature.
And of course, I've got these nuts. See ya.
Thank you, Pops. Pops also writes, hey, I want to give a shout out to Steve I, generous guy. He was one of the first that started the whole give my win away bit and just gave away another prize. What was that, 5 now? Who got it? Was it Barb? Bravo, Steve, for sharing, caring, and spreading the wealth so nobody feels left out. There truly is a nice group of folks in the live chat every week. Thanks for not filing a restraining order against me, Pops.
These things take a while. It's still stuck in the system,
Right.
so don't start the victory lap just
Right.
yet.
It's not immediate, these things. And finally, of course, Bob LaBerge, 1 for the correct answer, 1 for the live chat. Bob is feeling better today, and he is back. So he gets 1 for the live chat and 1 more for this video.
Hey guys, this week's bar is Moderano's, located at the Paris Hotel and Casino.
Bobby's got a pool.
This home-style Italian cuisine restaurant is located among Paris Hotels Le Boulevard, shopping and dining corridor. The large space features a bar, lounge, and dining room, serving dinner and lunch. Items on the menu include
Meatballs.
with imported regatta, fried calamari, eggplant stack,
He's promised me a date.
linguine in white clam sauce,
Hopefully we'll see Esteban.
platinum pizza, pork chop with vinegar peppers, and desserts. I thought I'd bring back one of Scott's favorite photos.
That's it, baby.
You guys have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Bobby. All right, here we go.
How many was Pop supposed to get? Because I wasn't.
You're supposed to get 3. 1
Yeah.
from me and 2 from you.
All right, stand by. We're still gonna. There's 1.
You didn't do any for him?
No, I was.
I thought I saw you put
I was enthralled with the.
Pops probably has 25 in there now.
Well, I'm just saying.
So he'll give it away.
There
if he
might
does.
be
All right, here we go.
there might be a kickback in there. We have a prearranged, like that movie Lucky Numbers, John Travolta.
He's from Florida. You can't trust those people.
I know. And I've
Probably
watched
knows a
Miami
guy
Vice
named
on TV.
Mr.
So.
Smooth.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Make me proud. Oh, there it is. That was a nice dramatic fall.
Well, finally.
Hey!
Finally, it's a bonus entry.
What do we got?
This is not rigged.
Okay.
It's Pops.
It's Pops! Okay,
And
now,
it's 25 entries in which I get a kickback.
Pops, I know you're probably going to want to give that away. You know I'll give it away. He does. Okay, so we're going to pull
Does he
another
have
one
all
out.
3 CDs already?
Yes, I think he's got everything.
Oh.
He's just a giving guy.
Pops,
All right,
you
give
got
it away.
You got 3 autographed CDs, Pops?
I don't know if he's got one CD. All right, doing it again. Here we go. Way to go, Pops. Whoop, whoop.
Is this like the carnival? Can you if you get the visor and
You can trade it in for a bigger toy?
Yeah.
No.
Like maybe you work up like the grand prize is like Scott Ubers you around for the day in
That'd be
his
good,
Buick.
right? We could just chit-chat a little
Yeah.
bit. Maybe I can give you an Arches of Whitneyville a shot glass.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I've already.
all right, here we go.
yeah.
Oh, did you get one?
I did.
That was a mistake.
I did.
I think I overgave him away at the beginning. What do you got?
This time it's another bonus entry.
Oh, 2 for 2.
Finally coming around.
Here
The
we go.
averages over a long enough sample size will play out.
Bob. Which Bob? Bob LaBerge?
What other Bob was there?
Well, I guess that's one. Bob, congratulations. This is Bob. This is the Bob who is our Scorsese. Congratulations, Bob. I will send you an email, and you can decide who or what.
I would have him Uber
want?
you around for the day. Pick up your dry cleaning.
Sounds good.
You know,
All right, let's take a look at this
take him to
week's
IKEA for some meatballs.
Have a Drink on Me. All right, only 2 hints for this one, folks. Ready? What are you doing right there?
I'm just looking at the picture.
Okay. Well, why don't you look at the picture right behind you?
It's
Okay.
closer.
But
I
it's also 20
I
times
don't
bigger
have.
over
I
there.
don't have Ray-Ban 2263 frames with the great transitions lenses.
Understood. All right. Clue number 1. Surprised not to see a leprechaun here. Hit number 1. I'm a little surprised not to see a leprechaun here. And the final hint, if you can make it at this casino's namesake, well, you can make it anywhere. If you can make it at this casino's namesake, you can make it anywhere. If you have the answer, you're going to send it to Have a Drink at VegasVideoNetwork.com.
No wonder there was no third clue.
Yeah, you don't know. VegasVideoNetwork.com. All right, that's it, everybody. Thanks for playing along.
131. I was 4 minutes over.
That was good.
Yeah.
I really thought this would go a little shorter.
Well,
Hey, if you want to...
my wit can barely be contained as it is.
Can't argue with that. Hey, if you want to send us an email, you're going to send it to onairq at livinginlv.com. Again, onairq at livinginlv.com. If you want to send us a voicemail, we would love to hear your dulcet tones. Go to our homepage, click on the right side, that little red tab that's going to pop up a little window, and you're going to click that green thing and start recording. Why? Because you have a microphone attached to your computer.
That's
Hey,
how we listening on you.
That's right. Great. Now they know. We're on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review for both the audio and the video. And we're also on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up and share us with all your friends. They want to hear this. And by the way, we're also on Roku, Stitcher, TuneIn, Chromecast, Apple, Google, and Fire TV, Google Play, and of course, the Vegas Video Network. I'm Scott. That's Wayne. We apologize if we offended you. That's not true. We don't apologize. We're happy that you came by, though. Thanks to the live chat for playing along. You guys are the greatest in the world. We'll see you guys next week on the Living in Las Vegas podcast.
Au revoir. Copyright 2015, huh?
Yep.